Hey, JK here. I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 3 of the year, and I'm super excited to get into it right off the bat. I am going to tell you the leagues did good this week. And I have some stuff rolling. We got some stuff in the works. I'm even more excited to talk to you about next week as long as the waiver wire gods are good to me. But let's go ahead and jump into the Fantrax League, the Funky Junky Joker Monkeys. This week we had a little bit of a break. The guy we were playing doesn't check his league. He doesn't change his lineup. So as long as we didn't crap the bed, we were going to win. And in fact, we did. 407 to 311. It was a little closer than I really would have liked it to be, but hey, a win is a win. Some of the guys that did very well for me, Cutter Crawford got me 40 points. And then there were 4 guys, Ronald Acuna, Kyle Harrison, Jake Flaherty, and Bryce Miller, who got me 27 points. There are also some guys who didn't do well for me, and thankfully I didn't really need them to do all that great for me. Steven Matz got me 5.5 points. Dude, I burned a start on you. Come on, dude. I need you to do better. Also, Nolan Jones, one of the top guys in Colorado. Everyone came in with such high expectations for him. He's really not doing great this year, and he only got me 1.5 points. And then Shelby Miller, a guy I was talking up in that Detroit Tigers bullpen, who was a guy who could get you points without burning a start, got me negative 0.5. Now, not the worst loss. However, if I would have lost the week by 0.5 points, I'd have been pissed. This week, there was only 1 drop and 1 add. I added Colin Ray and dropped Trevor Williams. Williams is going against a high-octane, underperforming Houston Astros team, and Colin Ray was not. I am 3-1 in this league, and it looks as though we have things rolling. Let's hope that some of our guys can start doing some good stuff in this league, continue doing good stuff in this league, and we will keep this train rolling on the win streaks. Now let's move to the Kent Murphy Dingers. This is my longest running league, and I'm super excited to tell you that I come back with another win, 7 categories to 2 categories. Overall, my pitching was superb. I only had to hit 30 innings pitched to get the categories in this league to count, and I was able to hit 36. I mean, I'm usually able to hit more than that, usually double that, but point being, I only had to hit 36 because my relievers did great for me. My starters did as well, and I did have the opportunity to sit some of the bigger names because they didn't have the best matchups. I ended up having 11 saves. Yeah, 11 saves. That's pretty phenomenal. My ERA was 1.25 and my whip was 0.67. The relievers that did so well for me included Kirby Yates, Jason Foley, Joel Payamps, and Craig Kimbrell. They each got 2 saves, and then there were 3 guys, Payamps, Yates, and Kimbrell, who got a win as well. I only had 4 wins on the week, so my relievers got me 3 of them. Hey man, I'll take it however I can get it. Also, the bats were all well and good, but the ones that did best for me included CJ Abrams, who had 8 runs scored and 3 home runs. So you would think he had a lot of RBIs, right? Nope, he had 3. All of his home runs were solo shots. That's disappointing. Yes, he does lead off and kind of it makes sense, but maybe can we move him to like number 2 in the lineup? Maybe he'll have someone to drive in. That'd be great. But in any case, I think he had a stolen base or 2 for good measure, so that's great. Adolis Garcia and Alec Boehm each had 7 RBIs. I picked Alec Boehm up on the day he hit the 2 home runs and the 6 RBIs, so I was pretty happy and pretty set the rest of the week with that. So some of the guys that didn't do as well for me. Paul Goldschmidt, dude, you really have to step it up. I know you're a slow starter, and I know you're getting on the wrong side of 30 and getting up there a little bit, but come on, man. I need you to do good because you're in a pretty good Cardinals lineup. You have Nolan Gorman. You have Nolan Arenado, the other Nolan. You have Mason Wynn. You have Edmonds coming back. You have Donovan. You have Jordan Walker. And I know pretty much all those guys are underperforming. And, finally Arenado's stepping it up. But, dude, hopefully him and Contreras and once Edmund comes back, hopefully they'll get on track. But in the meantime, buddy, I got Matt Olson at first, and he's holding it down for me. Well, not this week. He only had 1 hit this week. So I'm really glad I didn't really need his offense because he did not have any for me. Someone else who didn't have any offense for me, George Springer. Dude, you were a golden waiver wire pickup last week, so don't make me look silly for picking you up. You did have 3 hits, and you did have a counting stat. Yeah, just 1. You had 1 stolen base this past week. It is also the stolen base that won me the category, so thank you, but Dude, you're in a high-octane Blue Jays lineup. You need to do better. I need you to do better. Now, the pitchers didn't do well for me. Aaron Savali roughed up by my Yankees. Happy about that, and also happier that I did not start him. And then Jesus Luzardo, still looking to get back on track from what he's done the past 2 years. I'm really hoping he can, because his strikeouts are absolutely necessary. I could do without the ERA, can definitely do without the whip, but come on, dude. Let's give me those strikeouts. That would be wonderful. The adds and drops for this week also had a little bit of gold in them. Hopefully it's not fool's gold. But Seth Lugo was an ad. Kirby Yates was an ad. Hopefully he can stay healthy and continue to pick up saves for that Rangers team. I also picked up Alec Boehm twice. And you might be thinking, well, why did you drop him in the first place? Well, that's because I needed a third baseman. And Eugenio Suarez was not doing it, because Royce Lewis got hurt in his second at-bat, or after his second at-bat, so that kind of stinks. But in any case, so I dropped Suarez and picked up Boehm. And now I thought, oh man, Heston Kjerstad is still available. Well, I dropped Boehm and picked Kjerstad up, moved him to my NA spot, and then because it was such a quick transaction, Boehm wasn't put on waivers. So luckily I was able to get him back. And that was also the same day he had his massive game where he had 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. So those are my ads, and hopefully it is another golden week for me and not fool's gold and it fades and I look silly. And then you look back and you're like, hey dude, remember when you got super excited about those players? Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. But something that's not going to happen is me going over the roster spots, because I release guys when I'm supposed to. But in any case, we already talked about Eugenio Suarez being a drop. We already talked about Alec Boehm being a drop and then add. But in any case, we also dropped Griffin Jacks because you decide to do well once Johan Duran is on a rehab assignment. You had every opportunity to grab that job by the horns, take it, pick up saves, and then go somewhere else to get paid to be the closer on that team, but you dropped the ball. That's unfortunate for me and anyone else who drafted you. I also dropped Yemi Garcia because Jordan Romano came back, but I was able to squeeze 2 saves out of him, so that was good. I also dropped Andrew Abbott and Seth Lugo. Kent Murphy Dingers are 2-1. I'm looking forward to keep this hype train and winning streak going. Now let's move to the Cheese Weasels. First few weeks, yes, I was in 7th, 8th, maybe even 9th. You know, the points weren't where they need to be. However, this week, I am 2nd with 117 points. I'm super excited because my guys are absolutely raking. Trey Turner scored 10 runs, had 12 hits, and 4 RBIs. Ahmed Rosario, in 2 days worth of production, because I picked him up Saturday morning, had 4 hits and a stolen base. Jackson Chourio and Marcell Ozuna both hit 2 home runs, and Ozuna also had 5 RBIs. Great production from him. Pitching-wise, Tyler Glasnow had a clunker to start the week, and then a phenomenal game Sunday. 8 innings pitched, 1 win, and 10 strikeouts. 15 total for the week. Aaron Nola in 2 starts had 16 strikeouts for me. And then, of course, my saves. Craig Kimbrell, Kirby Yates, and Camilo Duvall each had 2 for me. On the other side of the fence, MJ Melendez was only hitting in the 130s. He has definitely slowed down since his hot start. However, he did still pick me up a home run and 4 RBIs. And then some other just slow starts, some bad starts in general from my pitchers. We really need you to step up, guys. We need you overall to be as good as you were maybe 2 years ago. Joe Ryan, you know, your groin injury should be all fine and dandy and good, okay? And then, of course, Tyler Glasnow, come on, man. You get 1 clunker a year. You've had it. No more. The ads for this week included Michael Bush, who filled a huge role for me because Jake Berger did go down. He has 1st and 3rd eligibility. I definitely needed a 1st and or 3rd baseman. So, dude, you are great for me. He was on a 5-game home run streak that did come to an end. Hopefully he's not cooling off, because I might very well try to sell high if he is. I also picked up Ahmed Rosario, who has been on a tear. I remember he was doing so good with the Cleveland Platinum Level Health Insurance team before they changed their name from the Indians, and I was really happy with him. Someone else who did very well for me, Kirby Yates, picking up those saves in Texas. Also, Bailey Ober, phenomenal start this week. You're supposed to be doing good like this all the time because you're pitching for the Twins. Twins have good pitchers, and you're kind of in, I won't say an easy or weak division, but an easier, weaker division. But in any case, the final guy added was Mitch Haniger. Not because I like him, not because I thought he was good, but because he had a doubleheader and he was playing in Colorado. I liked my chances. He went 1 for 5. The drops include Jake Berger. That was tough. First and third eligibility, we definitely have a need in that position, but we'll see how much longer Michael Bush is going to stay healthy and stay on this hot streak. We also dropped Zach Geloff. That was unfortunate because I really like Zach Geloff. I really want him to do well, but dude, you play for the A's, you're not producing enough. Ahmed Rosario was just going off. So we'll see how streaky Ahmed Rosario is, and you know, if you start to do something like you did today, you hit a home run against my Yankees, you'll probably be back on the team. We also dropped Joe, Ryan, Bailey, Ober, Aaron Tavalli, and Griffin Jax. Mainly Griffin Jax because you don't know how to not blow saves. Moving to the ESPN platform, we are going to talk about the Petrie Purgatory, where it was another week, another win. I was able to pick up the victory, 889 to 791. Now, I did have like 50 points added to my score because the other guy went over 2 starts. Last week, I went over 1. I messaged the guy, and he's like, you did go over. I was like, no, I believe you saw Tyler Alexander and thought that was a start, and it wasn't because I'm 12 for 12 on starts. So he apologized. But whatever, wasn't really necessary. I just wanted to make sure I didn't make the same mistake. So then I go in, and I see adjustments for this game. I'm like, oh, gosh. Because it was closer than I really wanted it to be because Frankie Montas just was terrible for me this week. But luckily, still came out with a win. They added points for me, so woo! I am 3-0 in this league. Super excited. Going from worst to first, baby. Some of my highest scores included Kirby Yates with 51, Ketel Marte with 77, and Trey Turner with 78. Woo, he had himself a week, baby. And now the guys that didn't do as well for me, Matt Olson got me 11 points. He had 1 hit this week. It's a really good thing I didn't need his offense that badly because he would have screwed the pooch. Max Fried, another Brave, only got me 4 points, and he was a starter. That kind of stinks. Lots of walks very early on in this year, and I don't know what's going on, man. Need you to get right. So now let's move to the negatives. Yes, negatives, because there are multiple. Shelby Miller got me -1. Louis Varland got me -3, and he was a starter. Griffin Jax got me -4. You blew some saves. And finally, Frankie Montas got me -10. Dude, thank God I did not lose by, was that 10, 5, 18. If I would have lost by 18 or less, I would have been absolutely pissed. Like always, the adds and drops are dominated by pitching. So let's go ahead and get to it. Picked up Louis Varland. That was a mistake. Picked up Ryan Weathers. Didn't even get to start him because of a delay and cramps in his hand. Picked up Ross Stripling as well. That wasn't too bad. For this upcoming week, I picked up Joe Ross and also Cole Irvin. Pretty good matchups. Not starting Joe Ross, his second matchup against the Yankees, just FYI. We also picked up Brenton Doyle. Not a pitcher, however, he does hit in a pitcher-friendly ballpark. And by pitcher-friendly, I mean if you like to see balls go flying because it's Colorado. And he is at home all week. And now the drops included Brian Ruccio because he's third base and shortstop eligible. I already have amazing third baseman and shortstop, so there was no way he was going to play for me. Also, Andrew Benintendi. This entire year, he had racked up a whopping 14 points. For consideration, today, Zach Geloff hit a home run and he got 13 points. So in one day, Zach Geloff got as many points as Andrew Benintendi did the entire year. That is not good. I also dropped Alejandro Kirk, Louis Varland, and Griffin Jax. Let's talk about the South Hartman Institute of Technology, where it was a tough week for me. It was a week that looked worse on paper than it really was. We ended up losing 3 categories to 11 categories to 4 categories. Now, hold on. We lost 11 categories. 9 of those 11 were within 5 stats. So what I mean is we lost by like 1 run. We lost by like 2 RBIs. We lost by 1 stolen base. Like, we were very close, and it really could have gone either way. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I get it, but I'm not as disappointed after looking at those stats as most would have been. As you can probably assume, there wasn't a whole lot of bright spot on this team throughout the week. Ahmed Rosario was the main guy. He had 10 total bases, 2 stolen bases. He also was hitting over 400 and had a 1,000 plus on base plus slugging. Pitching wise, Tyler Glasnow, rough first half of the week, great second half of the week, finished with an 8-inning game with the win, 10 strikeouts, total of 15 for the week, so that was great. The guys that didn't do so well, Louis Varlin and Leiter Jr. God, y'all got blown up. That sucks. Pyomps and Ginkle, you blew saves, and then the bats were all quiet. So let's go ahead and get to the adds and drops. There were quite a few, so let's try to name them all. Jamie Candelario, Jared Trulio, Ahmed Rosario, Louis Varlin, Ross Stripling, Steven Matz, Michael Waka, Kirby Yates, Jack Leiter, and Tyler Anderson. Woo, that was pretty good. That only took me like 20 tries. And the drops included Jonathan India, which was super tough because I love India. Also, Jared Trulio, or Trillo, however you pronounce his name. Trevor Williams, Jack Leiter, Tyler Anderson, Steven Matz, Michael Waka, Graham Ashcraft, and Griffin Jacks. That only took like 4 times. That's pretty good. Starting at the bottom, and now we're here to talk about the Russell My Jim Jams team. Man, I tell you one thing, they were in the hole the first half of this week. We made some big changes, and we actually came out with the win, 9 categories to 5 categories to 2 categories. Guess who helped me in this big comeback and big win included CJ Abrams, 8 runs scored, 6 extra base hits, and 3 home runs. Starling Marte, 4 extra base hits, and 8 RBIs. Spencer Turnbull, who had 7 innings of 1 hit, 2 walk ball, and then being moved to the bullpen. And then finally, I had some saves from Craig Kimbrell, Joel Pyomps, and Clay Holmes to each. That was great. And the guys that didn't help me at all included the following batters who were all hitting below 167 when I played them: Zach Geloff, Brendan Nimmo, J2 Realmuto, MJ Melendez, Xander Bogaerts, and Lane Thomas. The adds and drops for this league are also dominated by pitchers. We were able to grab Michael Waka and Steven Matz, I don't know why, and John Gray, and Colin Poach, and Ahmed Rosario. And the drops included John Gray, Steven Matz, Jeff Hoffman, Cedon Rafaela, and Jonathan India. That was the toughest of them. Now, we are done with all of the teams. We did very well in some, not as great in the others, but we were close, right? We're playing horseshoes and hand grenades? Oh, we're not? Okay, well, second place is great too, right? Or 12th. In any case, let's go ahead and get to the guys that I think you should add. First of all, this is a breaking piece of information. Pete Fairbanks, with a nerve issue, is going on the IL, so Colin Poach is probably going to be the main guy you want to pick up because Sean Armstrong is an opener, and he's not going to be the guy that picks up saves or holds anymore. So Colin Poach is your guy. Someone else that you might want to go ahead and pick up, if you haven't already, Heston Kjerstad. He's getting caught up tomorrow by the Orioles. In my opinion, I think they should send Jackson Holiday down, not because he has anything to prove, but to get his confidence back. Man, he's like 1 for 40, and that's not great. Not saying he's not good, but get that confidence back up. See that ball a little better, and we'll see how it goes. Pitching-wise, Trevor Williams has a great matchup with the Marlins on Friday, while Cole Irvin has a great matchup with the Athletics on Saturday. Now, let's get to the hitters. So pretty much anyone on the Colorado Rockies, San Diego Padres, or Houston Astros. Why, you may ask? Because there is a week straight of batters hitting in Colorado. All of those teams will be playing Colorado for this next week. It's a long homestand for the Rockies, and if you have players who are on any of those teams, start them. Start them with confidence because hopefully you'll get some thin air home runs. This is the end of episode 3. I'm super excited, and I'm looking so forward to talking to you more next week, talking mainly about my potential waiver wire gold. But something else I'm super excited about, as you may know, I do open packs of cards. I do memorabilia. You can see stuff behind me, but I got a box of cards in I'm going to open here soon, hopefully. It is 1999 Fleer Skybox International Thunder. Yes, Thunder Skybox. You'll see it right there. I'm looking forward to talking to you next week and hearing how your teams are doing. This is Jay Kick, and I want to thank you for sharing part of your day with me.